Hey my friends, I hope you're having an awesome day, and we are back to learn more about the life cycle of the butterfly. So we learned about the first stage, which is the egg, and we learned about the second stage, which is the caterpillar. And now we are on the third stage, which is called the pupa stage. It's also known as the chrysalis. So the caterpillar is often thought of as simply the feeding stage in the life cycle of a butterfly. But it is a very complex animal. A butterfly pupa is usually called a chrysalis, and depending on the species and the climate, the weather, it remains in this form for weeks or even months, except for an occasional twitch. The pupa seems lifeless, but in fact, amazing changes are taking place, some of which can eventually be seen through the pupal skin. Because a pupa cannot move around, the insect is far more vulnerable to predators at this time. For the majority of pupae, their best hope of survival is to adapt their shape and color to their surroundings. So let's take a closer look at some selections of those two books we introduced a few videos ago and see what we can learn about the third stage of a butterfly's life, the pupa stage. Let's take a look. Where does a butterfly caterpillar form its chrysalis? On a leaf or a twig. The caterpillar molts, sheds its skin, for the last time and stops eating. It squeezes out a sticky liquid from an opening called a spinneret below its mouth. Soon the liquid hardens into a pad on the leaf or twig. The caterpillar attaches itself to this pad. Most caterpillars hang upside down. Others spin a silk line called a girdle to hold themselves upright. A hard shell begins to form on the outside. The chrysalis stays very still, but inside, the caterpillar's body slowly changes into an adult butterfly. Are all butterfly chrysalises alike? No. Chrysalises have different colors in some cases, as with the great Mormon and common bluebottle. The chrysalises are green or brown. Other chrysalises have a golden glow or bright colors. Those that look like leaves, twigs, or pieces of wood blend in with their surroundings. The word chrysalis comes from the Greek word for gold. Gold spots on some of the chrysalises help hide them. How long does the chrysalis stage last? From a few days to more than a year. It all depends on the species of butterfly and the weather. If it's cold, the butterfly may not come out for 9 months or until the weather turns warm and sunny. All right, so now let's take a closer look at the different steps that a caterpillar will go to form its chrysalis and look at some pictures that show that, okay? Let's take a look. In this first picture, we can see a fully grown caterpillar of the citrus swallowtail butterfly. This caterpillar found a site suitable to pupate on, to become a chrysalis. Its hind claspers grip the plant stem, and in this picture you can see that the caterpillar's head is at the top of the picture. Step 2, starting to spin. The caterpillar has turned head down and is producing silk from the spinneret below its head. The caterpillar weaves this silk into a small pad, which it attaches to the plant. And now you can see in this picture the caterpillar's upside down. He turned around, and he's spinning a pad at the bottom of the twig. He likes this spot. Step 3, making the girdle. Having turned around again, now the head is at the top of the picture, the caterpillar spins while moving its head from side to side, producing a girdle around its body with the silk from its spinneret. Step 4, hanging on. The caterpillar is now attached to the stem by its hind claspers and the silk girdle. Under its skin, the chrysalis is already starting to form. And you can see that silk girdle that's wrapped around the middle of the caterpillar's body. It's kind of like a silk belt, like a little thin piece of thread, and the belt is wrapped around his body and then attached to the tree. And then his claspers at the bottom of the caterpillar is grabbing onto that tree twig. Step 5. Splitting at the seams. The caterpillar wriggles vigorously, and its skin begins to split along its back. The new chrysalis skin beneath is beginning to show through. Step 6. New skin for old. The caterpillar's movements gradually force off its old skin. The chrysalis skin starts to harden as it's exposed to the air. And in this picture you can see the last molt, or the last time the caterpillar sheds its skin, it's pushing it down towards the hind claspers at the bottom of the caterpillar. And the little legs there from the caterpillar are still there. It's almost like he took his legs out of a pant leg, and it's just an empty pant leg there at the bottom. And the skin at the top of the caterpillar is changing completely. It looks totally different as it reacts to the oxygen outside of its old caterpillar skin. Step 7. A firm grip. The pupa works its tail hooks into the silken pad that it had earlier spun as a caterpillar. So it really secures its bottom there into the tree or into the twig or wherever it clasps, so that it can make sure that it holds itself up once it's in the next stage. Stage 8. The completed chrysalis. In its final form, the chrysalis looks like a leaf. It is still attached to the twig by the silken girdle around its midsection and the pad that its hind claspers are grabbing that it spun when it was still a caterpillar. Very interesting. Alright friends, and now I want to share with you a few pictures of some completed pupa or some completed chrysalises and show you the different designs that some of these caterpillar or butterflies can make, okay? This first one is called the freak, which is kind of a funny name, but it's of the butterfly, the Kalinaga Buddha. Chrysalises' variation in color helps them to camouflage themselves on a wide range of backgrounds. The brown form will clearly have a protective advantage on a twig. And you can see that one, it's kind of green, and the other one, it's the same shape. But that brown one would be very well disguised if it was on a brown twig. The green one kind of looks like a piece of fruit. I would be kind of nervous to look like a piece of fruit if I was a chrysalis. This next one is called a kind of a cool design. It's called the Archduke. A close look at the Archduke reveals that the wing veins are visible, showing that the adult, a butterfly called the Euthalia dirtea, is almost ready to hatch. The next one is called the Great Eggfly, and it's a pretty cool design. It kind of reminds me of a shell you might find in the ocean. But it has protective sharp spines, and it kind of looks like maybe a seed or something. And you can also, if you look close, see the veins of the butterfly on the back, on the right-hand side of that chrysalis. The rugged, spiny pupa of Hypolimnus bolina from Madagascar and Australia is usually attached to one of the many different host plants of its caterpillar. In this next picture, I wanted to show you the two chrysalises on the left-hand side, one is brown and one is green, are of the same type of butterfly. It's the Great Mormon butterfly. And this just shows you how well the chrysalis can adapt to its surroundings. So if this caterpillar was going to form its chrysalis on a brown plant or an old log or something, then he could disguise the color of it to make it look like it was more part of the tree. Or if it was in a plant that had lots of green leaves, then it could also make its outside look green to better camouflage it. And the one on the right is called the Queen Page, and it is a well-camouflaged chrysalis all through its growing stages. The caterpillars resemble bird droppings on leaves, and the chrysalis is said to look like lichen growing on a tree trunk. Very interesting. And this last one I wanted to share with you is from the chrysalis from the owl butterfly. And if you didn't know that it was a chrysalis. Even to myself, it just looks like an old dead leaf. It even has like some of the same markings that a leaf would have. So it has very, very, very good camouflage in nature to protect itself and become an adult butterfly, right? Very cool, my friends. All right, so that was very interesting. I enjoyed learning about the third stage of life in the butterfly, and I am so excited to get into the next and final stage, the adult butterfly, right? So I hope you have an awesome, awesome week, friends. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you again real soon, okay? Bye-bye.